Or welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda, and today I'm going to play with my Counterfeit Kit challenge and my Mixed Media Mayhem. This is the Scraptlift from Mixed Media Mayhem. It's from Scraptlift Boys and it's from Josefine. And I went through my stash and picked out a whole bunch of frames and things because I didn't have a lot in my kit, but the ones that I did have in my kit I'll use. And then I pulled out those two pieces of paper that I'm looking at right now. And so this piece is from Studio Calico. I'm going to cut the branding strip off. It is going to be my outside border. And then that plaid piece, I think is from Close to My Heart, I'm going to do as a second border. So I am going to gut this so I have a little bit more of it to use in different spots. A little bit more goes on this page, and so I put it at 10 and cut at 2 and 10. So my guide goes at 10. And then I cut on my cutter at 2 and 10. And so this is what I'm thinking. It's I have about 3/4 of an inch showing. I was thinking about a 1/2 inch maybe showing. So I cut off an inch on each side to start with. And then I pop it back on. And I actually wanted just a little bit more showing. So I'm going to cut off another 1/2 inch. Both sides so it stays square. And then that will give a 3/4 of an inch border around with that other one. And then I don't want too much of this one showing, but enough to see it. So I am gonna cut this to 10 by 10. And so that will be what my layout is on this 10 by 10 piece with the two borders. I like the colors in them, and it was gonna tie in really nicely with my picture. So yeah. So I'm going to get this piece as well, because why not? Look at that pretty paper. And then I'll use a little bit of it to map my photo too. And so then this all gets lined up like this. And then in the lift, Josephine has one corner tucked up. So I am going to try and remember to do that. So I was just making sure I had enough room there. And then I'm going to get this on. I fuss about with this for quite a bit. I don't know why it was hard to get it straight on. You're going to watch a little bit of it, and then I'm going to skip forward. I actually took a pencil and put where the corners of them were needing to be to get it a little bit better. So then that allowed me to line it up a little bit easier. And then using my T-square to make sure it's straight. And yay, it's on. Erase those pencil marks. And then the white's going to go on, but not yet. So I'm not going to put the white cardstock on for a little bit because I do want to do some mixed media on it. So I am going to do some ink packaging because that's what Josephine has on hers. I'm chopping my photo down, so mine's going to be a little bit narrower and probably a little longer than Josephine's is. But this is a picture of my youngest wearing her dad's boots, which she and my oldest did all the time. They thought it was funny to put on dad's cowboy boots or his work boots or his winter boots and just walk around the house in them. I was like, all right, fine, whatever. So snapped this one of her because it was pretty cute. She's actually sticking her tongue out at me too because I was like, why do you have daddy's boots on? And so she was being full of spunk because that is what this kid is always full of spunk. And then you can see that I am using those centerpieces, and then I've added just a little bit around my photo. And that just gives a little bit more interest to the photo because the photo is going to be smaller than a lot of the stuff I put on here. So I pulled this smile out of one of my color drawers. It would have been my black one. And it's just a clear sticker. I have no idea where it came from. It probably is not a scrapbooking sticker at all, but that's okay. So then I'm going to do some packaging. I'm going to pick out this pink one and peeled paint. I think the pink one is something raspberry. I can look if you want to see, but these are the new oxides and the minis. And I am just going to do packaging, done. And then I'm going to do the peeled paint the same way, almost, but I don't have any water left in my thing. So I took the lid off and just dabbed out what I could get, which was enough to like make it so I could smoosh it. So, which was good. And so that green and that pink work so well with what she's wearing. It's like almost perfect colors. The green gets a little muddied because it's on top of that pink and it reacts, but it's okay. And then I have this chipboard frame. I think it was like an outside of something that I'm going to use. This love is from my kit, and it is from a Jen Hadfield. I think it's the Avenue sticker book. And so I'm going to use it with this smile, but I know the smile is a clear sticker, and I don't know if it's like this whole sheet or what, and it's a whole sheet. So I don't want to just stick it on there. So I'm going to fussy cut around it with white background. And I didn't make you watch that because it was mostly off screen anyway. And then I want to use these frames. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use the love one. There's one more I'm going to use. The black best day one I'm not going to use on this one, but the rest I can. So just getting that more straight on and then dabbing up some of the wet spots because I don't want it everywhere. And I didn't use my heat gun on this, so I didn't let it dry. So the layout in total probably took me, it took me about an hour and a half, not including the little bit of prep I did off camera. So probably an hour 45, I would imagine it took me, because I did pull out all those frames and stuff before. I'm going to pull this wonderful off this sticker book. I pulled it in because I kind of like the summer feel of that one. So, and I'm going to get this chipboard frame down so that I know where it's going and it's straight. And then the smile is going to get put up on foam, and it's going to nestle with the love, with the V and the E there. So my title is Smile Love because why not? I thought it was cute, and I wanted a big title on here today, so I just wanted to use that smile. So I'm just going above and below where that chipboard frame is because I don't want it to interfere with the chipboard frame for where the pieces have to go. So I keep checking and I keep like popping stuff on and double checking, and that one I didn't put in a good spot, so it's overlapping. So this other piece I'm just going to pull off, and then the other bits are gonna get stuck, and then I'm going to put this extra bit on this side because I know there's nothing there with the L, and then that gives some more support for the L. And then I'm also going to get my photo down right away, and so I know it's going to go in between those two pieces. And then I'm not going to stick this down to the border yet, but I did want it to help with that visual. And that Stay Sassy is not going to work. This one's too red. This one is too muted. So I'm looking at some of the other ones. This one I like. It's actually the same color as that background with the plaid, so I thought it worked. That yellow for those flowers, I thought maybe, but it's not going to make it. Nope. I pulled out some metal pieces because I thought I'd use some metal frames, and they're not the feel that I want for this. So, and then this black and white frame I thought it was too bold for what else I've got on here. I want to use this wonderful sticker. I am going to pull off some of these labels to see if I can use, and didn't like the color with it. But this lighter green I am going to use. So I'm going to try it in a couple different spots. Then I thought maybe I would put it around the Smile Love. And then, so I put it on, I almost get it on. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to curl that corner up. So it's not going there. And now it's cut. So now I need to really figure out a spot. So it's just going to nestle this chipboard piece. And then later, it says date on it. It's a slide date. So I will put the date on later, but I do have to look up the date on my computer because I don't know what the date is for that one. So that's a later thing. But get this chipboard piece glued down. I think it's the inside of a different chipboard piece, but it still works. And the Wonderful is going to get popped inside it, so it goes in and over top the top. And now I'm going to do my picture. So I'm just going to cut 2 pieces of this really sticky foam adhesive. It is really not my favorite. It's hard to actually cut. It's so sticky. And right now my scissors are all gummed up with it, and it makes it hard to cut anything else. And ugh. But I have lots of it, and I bought it, so I'm going to use it. But you may hear me complain about it almost every time I use it. Put my lid on my glue, because I don't know why I'm not using the stand, but I didn't use the stand, so oh well. Then thought about sliding this extra piece somewhere, but it wasn't really working at that moment. I probably could find a spot for it now that the layout's done, because there's a lot more on here. But and then just looking to see if there's stuff that I want. And I really tried hard to put this rainbow on because I thought it was cute, but I don't know. I know I need some more frames on here too, and yeah. And then I like this one. It says perfect moment. So just trying to figure out where I would put it, and nowhere yet, but it will come back later. Trying that rainbow one more time. I don't like that. This is going to go in a little bit crooked on purpose. And nope, not going to use it. So now I'm going to look at my Jen Hatfield stuff that is actually in my kit. And so I'm going to pull this peacock out, and it's going to sit right where I was trying to put that rainbow. It's super cute. Pulls a little bit of the blue in from that frame below. There's not a lot of blue on here, but there is a couple touches. And then this turtle, who also has a little bit of blue on him. And he's going to go up on that chipboard. And the foam that I put underneath the photo is a little bit higher than this, like the chipboard was. And also a little bit, I had those little foam squares, and doing those with what was going on behind is the same-ish thickness. So that works. Tried that rainbow, not going to work. Look at this page, and I see that, oh, I wanted this green one on here somewhere. Not sure where yet. So maybe there. I need more frames. Okay, what else can I use for frames? I don't know. Maybe this Enjoy Today, which is not going to stay. I do know I want a little bit more black on here, so that's why I'm looking at some of the black stuff that I have. But I have this Hey in black and white, so it says Hey Wonderful up there. Then I'm going to pull out this frame, and it's still like that Polaroid style. Oh, words. And I don't want the extra thick piece, so I'm just going to fold this over, line it up, and then cut this part off. And then I can use this as a regular horizontal frame. And it is going to go on right about there. And I'm just using my ruler to get the top on straight. And then that green one's going to overlap, and I like that. And then I'm going to use my stapler and staple this corner with, I was thinking 2 staples, but I do just 1. And now I decide that I really need to get this on this background before it makes it too hard, because I have too much on it. Because this layout is a more is more kind of layout. And yeah. lots more. So I decided that other piece is definitely going to stay down. So I glued it so I stopped playing with it. And then looking at this piece again. And so this is that perfect moment. So I am going to not use those scissors and use these ones because those ones are really gummed up. And so just put it on white and fussy cut it because these are clear stickers. And then a little bit of foam adhesive so that it pops up over that green frame. I think that's super cute. And looking at stuff. Oh, now I'm going through my color drawers. So I pulled out those flowers. I found this chipboard piece, this happy, a couple buttons. So I'm looking in my yellow and orange because I have my yellow and orange together. Those sparkly flowers, this chipboard banner piece that says choosing joy, creating happiness. And so getting some in that bottom corner to like fill that out a bit. And then I decided I wanted some ribbon on here, and I tried the lace and I didn't like the lace. And I remembered I had this one, so I'm going to try this one because I do need something in that corner where that pink is, just because in the inspiration, Josefine definitely had something else overlapping there. And it feels like it's a big hole compared to everywhere else, honestly. So I was thinking that, and that could have worked. It just was a little too much and too close to the smile for my, like, it just was too much. So it's there. I'm thinking about it. Thinking, well, if I put that somewhere else, but I don't really have anywhere else I want to stick it now. So get that sparkly flower down, and then the happy down, and then this choosing joy, creating happiness, and then just move that down a little bit and overlap that petal, and then get those buttons glued on because I like them. And then this flare, I decide, I'm still looking at it, but I will decide nope. And then I was thinking maybe a flower over here. Oh, some more glittery ones. So this one's part of that same set, and it's going to go beside that perfect moment. And then just going through what I have here. None of that's really what I want to use. Looks like I might need to do another flower challenge. Then I pull out the stars because maybe the stars will work too. So there's these orange chipboard ones, and I like the addition of this orange, so I'm going to go with it. The middle of that flower, it's hard to see on screen because it is so sparkly, is orange. This yellow felt I thought was a little too much. It was a lot brighter than everything else. Maybe that one. No, this one. So that chipboard I replaced with the flare, and I'm thinking I like that better. There's this acetate star. Some more of those orange chipboard ones that are in the same color as I had before. Trying this again. I don't know. Maybe with the orange. Nope. Maybe with this one. Well, that one's not the right scale. I feel like I need something bigger. I'm going to look at it for a minute. I am going to keep those washi stars out because why not? I think those are Studio Calico. And then I am going to use this acetate, this big acetate orange one, but I am going to glue it and fussy cut around it for the white because it will allow it to be seen a little bit better. And I didn't want to see the background underneath for where that star was. I wanted it to have some more prominence. So I picked out this Be Awesome. I took the offcut of that frame sticker, which has a little bit more black in it, which gets black in one more spot, which is kind of what I wanted anyway. I replaced the tape with glue. This is going to go over across the star. And then my word sticker I'm going to cut out here in a second that says Be Awesome is going to get layered on top of that. And I like that a lot more. And then this is going to get some foam adhesive just so it sticks not too far down, but gives enough that there's some dimension there. And so now I'm just getting all of these chipboard pieces on. Yay! I'm getting close. Like this was there's a lot on here. So where I cut out process that you didn't need to see. So, because yeah, sometimes it takes a bit to do this. So just getting some more, trying out different spots. It doesn't need to be a full diagonal with the stars, but I do want to be kind of in that kind of idea. And then I'm going to put some of these washi ones on. I use all of them, which is awesome. Just here, there, and everywhere. You can see like some of the green in behind because they are washi sticker. And then the last thing I'm going to do is do the tiniest bit of journaling, which says loving daddy's boots. And that is a wrap on this page. I have quite a few close-ups to follow because of all the stuff on this page. There is definitely lots of different media on here because there's acetate and stickers and glitter and paint or ink and yeah, all sorts of stuff. So if you loved how this came together today, I would love it if you press that thumbs up button, subscribed, and if you are feeling so inclined to share some crafty love in the comments, I absolutely adore it when you guys comment. Blogs and playlists and links are always shared in the description box below. There is a playlist for Mixed Media Mayhem. And until next time, stay inspired, scrappy, and full of ideas. Thank you so much for being here, and have a great day.